Drive-bys are livid. Mike Pence, by the way, on the Betsy DeVos thing, Pence is on his way up to Capitol Hill to cast a tie-breaking vote when they get to the confirmation vote for Betsy DeVos. It remains a teachable moment, an educational opportunity to explain all of this obstruction and protesting that the left is engaging in. And it's gotten to the point now where Rahm Emanuel, mayor of Chicago, has told them, you people need to back off. You need to calm down. We are not going to have national power anytime soon. This isn't the way to do this. Even David Frum, who desperately wants the protesters to succeed in stopping Trump, is telling them, don't do it. It won't work. This didn't stop the Iraq war. It didn't stop Bush doing anything, and it's not going to stop Trump. Give it up. But they're not trying to stop. Well, I take it back. That's a fine line when I say they're not trying to stop Trump. They certainly are trying to stop Trump, but they're not. They're doing it for. They're not trying to assert themselves with power. This is pure obstructionism, gridlock. It's all kinds of things rolled into one, which we've touched on in great detail here. But it's only going to intensify for a while. It's not going to go relax and go away. I mean, the babes are planning another 2 marches. There's going to be a babe strike going on out there. They haven't set a date for it yet. And then the Women's March was so successful, they're going to do that again. I don't know what they're going to strike. It's just a national women's strike. I mean, and that's it. That's basically all we have. And Mrs. Clinton is back. There was a Hillary sighting in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, the 2017 Makers Conference. Makers, by the way, is a storytelling platform created in 2012 by AOL for women to make and post videos. So AOL sets up a place for women to make and post videos, and they had their storytelling platform. And Hillary went out there. Well, she didn't go out there. She released a video address to the conference, and here is a portion of what she said.
Despite all the challenges we face, I remain convinced that, yes, the future is female. Just look at the amazing energy we saw last month as women organized a march that galvanized millions of people all over our country and across the world. Now more than ever, we need to stay focused on the theme of this year's conference, Be Bold.
You know why the future is not female, as long as the left has anything to do with it? I'm going to tell you right now why the future is not female. It's because the primary objective of the left and the Democrat Party is to make everybody feel like they are a victim of something. If you are a liberal, doesn't matter, you are a victim. Women are victims of a misogynistic America with a rape culture running rampant on college campus. The problem with this is that once you acknowledge or accept or believe that you are a victim, you have a lifetime excuse for never being happy. And you have a lifetime excuse for never succeeding. If you join up with the left and acknowledge that you are a victim, you are condemned. You are basically attaching yourself to a status in life of loser, miserable, and never successful, because none of those things go with victimhood. Victims are not prosperous. Victims are not happy. Victims are not content. And victims are not successful. And this is a subtle form of genuine discrimination by the left against its own people. By constantly telling them how they don't have a chance, the deck is so stacked against them that they're all victims. They never will become independent. They will always be wards of the state, and they'll be happy wards of the state, and they'll be voting for bigger government, more government, because that's the only place they will believe that any form of happiness and economic security, healthcare security, whatever comes from. And in this way, the Democrat Party and the American left are literally destroying lives. They are destroying the lives of their own voters, of their own supporters, by automatically classifying and qualifying these people as victims. And that's what they've done to women. That's what really the foundation of feminism was back when I was, back 69 or 70, when the current modern era of it actually began. It was all based on how women are victims of this or that. They're disadvantaged, discriminated against, and that hasn't changed. They're still victims. No matter what kind of success, real or imagined, they've had, they're still victims. They still have the victim mentality. Something else you are when you're a victim, you're constantly enraged. You are always angry. It goes hand in hand with never being content or never being happy. And this is exactly what they're doing. And they are attempting to cement this way of life, victimhood, into the pop culture and to every group of people that they come into contact with. And it succeeds because one of the things that victimhood also inspires is fear, never-ending, constant fear. If you're a victim, you're not self-reliant. If you're a victim, you can't help yourself. If you're a victim, you are consistently always dependent. Well, when the Democrats don't win, as they didn't do in 2016, and as they have been losing at the state and local level in demonstrable numbers, they're losing power. They're losing control of the federal government. And they consider the White House control the federal government. I know they're still populated in the bureaucracy, and they can stop Trump or try to stop Trump, but they're not implementing anything. I mean, they've been brought to a screeching halt here. But the psychological effect is that when their sponsors, when their protectors, when their caregivers lose power, they have nothing because the victimhood status they've adopted and accepted. That's why they're so frightened. That's because they have no ability nor desire to rely on themselves, plus no ability to. They're not taught self-reliance. That, of course, is impugned. Self-reliance is a no-no. Self-reliance is attacked and criticized as selfishness and bigotry and racism and homophobia and all these other things. So these people literally become scared out of their gourds when their state sponsors, i.e. the Democrats, lose. And that fear, you see it manifested in these protest marches. The rank and file protesters, I mean, there are some of these protesters that are organic. The leadership of all this, it's bought and paid for by Soros. We even learned, I don't know if you saw this, Mr. Snerdley, official program observer. Do you see all the Republicans took money from George Soros in the 2016 elections? You didn't see this? You want some names? John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Paul Ryan. It wasn't a lot of money, but they all accepted financial contributions from George Soros and his various and sundry organizations. Yeah, I think so. I've got it here in one of the. I've got 4 stacks here today. It's kind of depressing.